Think about a problem that you're dealing with right now, something that maybe has been stressing you out, a relationship, a decision, something at work, whatever has been sitting heavy on you, okay? Hold on to that and now imagine your best friend just called you and told you the exact same thing she's dealing with. Exact same problem, word for word, same situation, same details, same everything. What would you tell her to do? You immediately would have an answer, wouldn't you? Like it took you 2 seconds to get an answer. You probably thought the answer was so obvious. Just leave, just say no, just do this, just do that. Stop overthinking. You look at her situation with complete clarity and wonder why she can't see what's so painfully obvious to you. And now here's my question. Why can't you do that for yourself? You just solved your own problem in 3 seconds, and when you pretended it belonged to someone else, but when it was yours, when it's your relationship, your career, your decision, suddenly it's so complicated. Suddenly there's a million reasons why you can't do the thing that you tell anyone else to do without hesitation, whether that's leaving a toxic relationship, leaving a toxic job, doing this, any life decision. I was actually in the middle of an argument with someone, and in the heat of it, I was saying things that I didn't mean and being reactive, emotional, doing all sorts of things that I do in arguments. And mid-sentence, I had this almost out-of-body thought an experience where I almost saw myself across the room, like I floated out of my own body and watched myself from the outside doing whatever I was doing. And I thought to myself that if I was watching this girl as a character or as someone else I knew in a movie, I would be screaming at the screen like, what is she doing? Stop talking, walk away. Why are you doing this again? Just move, walk away. And that moment really stuck with me because I realized that we are so deep inside our own lives, our own emotions, our own trauma patterns, our own stories that we cannot see what everyone else can see. You know when your friend is dating someone terrible and it's so obvious to you, but she can't see it. That's not because she's stupid, it's because she's inside the story. She is the main character and she's just too close to the plot line to see how it ends. But you are the audience. You're seeing it from a third person perspective. You can see everything, the red flags, the patterns, the ending that's coming from like a mile away. And that's when I thought, what if I could become my own audience? And I had seen this or read this somewhere. What if instead of living inside every emotion and every reaction and every decision, I stepped outside myself and watched like a movie, like a character study? What would I see? What would I do differently? And honestly, the answer to me was everything. So let's talk about that in the video. To start with, I want to talk about what living in third person means. Like it's quite a weird concept. When I say live in third person, I don't mean disassociate from your life. I don't mean disconnect from your emotions. I mean develop the ability of consciousness to observe yourself the way you would observe someone else with clarity that you are not your thoughts. You are not all your emotions. Observe it with honesty without the emotional fog that makes everything feel so complicated than it is. Because the thing about first person is that when you are living in first person, which is how most of us every second live, everything feels so urgent. Everything feels personal. Everything feels like the end of this world and universe because it's our world and it's crumbling down, right? And yeah, so everything does feel like the end of the world. So someone says something to you and you react immediately because you are in it, you feel it. But in third person, zoom in. In third person, you are watching yourself. And watching yourself creates that kind of space between what happens to you and how you respond to it, which is again what spirituality is all about. And in that space is where every good decision you ever make lies. And so I started doing this, not in a weird talking about myself in third person way, but mentally. Whenever I'm about to make a decision or react to something or fall into an old pattern, I step back and I will ask myself, if I was watching this girl, what would I tell her to do right now? And that question has genuinely saved me more than I can count. And this is because your patterns are only visible from the inside. And so, you have patterns, you have deep ones, everyone does, ones that have been running your life for years and you can't see them because you are inside of them. It's like being in a maze. So when you're inside the maze, every turn feels like a new decision. But from above, from a bird's eye view, you can see that you've been walking the same loop in the last 3 years. Same type of relationship, same type of arguments, same type of self-sabotage, same type of trying to get back on track or whatever it is, procrastinating, and people around you can see it, your friends can see it, your family sees it, they've probably even told you. multiple times, but you couldn't hear it because you were inside the maze. It doesn't feel like a pattern to you. It feels like a next turn, and like you're like, I'll get there, I'll get there. It feels like life just keeps happening to you, like you're just unlucky, or like things just never work out. But they're not happening to you, you are creating them. You're on repeat without even knowing. For example, like I used to have this pattern where every time something started going well, I'd find a way to complicate it. A project would be going smoothly and I'd suddenly procrastinate until it becomes a crisis. A relationship would be going well and then you pick a fight about something that doesn't matter, or things would be calm and my brain would just go like, it's too easy, it's too boring, it must be wrong, and I'd look to create a pattern. My brain was looking for just to feel that normalness again, and I could not see it because I am in it. I thought that I was just someone who is like that. Like that's just the way I am. That's just how I'm wired. But the moment I started watching myself from the outside, observing my own behavior, like I'd observe her friends, I was like, okay, she does this every single time. The second things get good, she blows it up because chaos feels more familiar than peace. And that's not bad luck. That is a pattern that she has and she needs to change. And patterns can be changed, but only once you see them, of course. So in third person, I had the ability to be more conscious and to see them. And you can truly only see them stepping outside of your consciousness, like seeing yourself as a normal human being, not so involved in yourself. Third person, basically. And this is where it brings me to my movie character technique. And so this is where the video lies. This is the actual technique that I use. And I want you to try this because it is genuinely the most fun way to change your life. It's kind of like, again, romanticizing your life. I started treating myself like a character in a movie, that I'm not a part of it, I am directing it. And the director's job isn't to feel the emotions. The director's job is to see the bigger picture, to know where the story is going and to make decisions based on what's best for the character's arc, not based on what feels good in the moment, but for what the character is building, right? And so every morning I will ask myself this question, like, what does the character need to do today to reach to the climax of the movie, to be happy? Not what I feel like doing, not what's comfortable, not what's easy. What does the character need to do? Because the character cannot see the plot, the director can. And this works in real time too. You're about to text your ex at midnight, pause, step into director mode. Would you write this scene for a character that you're rooting for and has better things in life? Would you have the main character for a movie about a strong woman text a man who left her at midnight because she was lonely? No, right? That's a scene you'd fast forward through. That is the part where the audience will be like, no, she just doesn't have self-respect. So don't write the scene, write a better one, right? Put the phone down, go to sleep. That's the scene the audience really cheers for. And then maybe later you meet the hero of your movie. Or you're about to say yes to something that you don't want to because you're scared of disappointing someone. Pause, step out. Would you want this character to abandon her own needs again to keep someone else comfortable? No, right? You'd want her to finally say no, to choose herself and to go into the main character arc. So write that scene instead. Someone says something that triggers you and you're about to react out of pure emotion. No, pause. Would the best version of this character scream right now? Or would she take a breath and respond with something that she will not regret tomorrow? Something that's more stern and something that just holds her emotions better. So direct the scene that way. Don't just act in it, direct it. When you start directing your own life, as funny as it sounds, instead of just reacting your way through it, you start making decisions that your future you will thank you for, instead of just decisions that your present self or your past self knows about. Because the director can see the full arc. The director knows that this one decision leads to better things. This one scene matters for the rest of the story. If it's a transformation story, the director knows that going to the gym today gets her to be her best version. But the character who's in it can only see what's right in front of her face. So step out is what I'm saying. And what's right in front of her face is usually just an emotion. So a director knows the whole image. And this doesn't just work for small moments, it works for big things too. The stuff that actually shapes your life, your career. You've been in the same position for 2 years and you're comfortable, but you're not growing. And first person says that it's fine, I don't want to rock the boat. The third person says that this character has been playing small, for 2 years because she's scared of failing in something bigger. Like she has opportunities around her, but she's not taking any of them. And is that the story we want to tell? Is that a biopic story that we want? No. So let's write a better chapter. Relationships, you keep going back to someone who doesn't treat you right. First person says, I love him, maybe he'll change. Third person says, this character has given the wrong person 4 chances and every time the same thing happens. And at what point does the audience stop feeling bad for the character? We're at that point. So write the scene where she leaves and doesn't go back. Health, you keep saying that you'll start and then you don't, right? First person says, I'll start Monday and I just want to get through this week. Third person says, this character has said Monday 47 times. It's becoming a running joke in the movie and not a funny one anymore. So write the scene where she actually starts and gets her transformation. On a random Wednesday, no dramatic music, she just goes for it, right? That's the scene that changes the whole movie. Have you ever seen movies that rely on sport characters, like biopics, where they just go at it? They fall, but they keep going at it, right? So you're in that movie, for example, you're a character in that movie. So stop writing the same boring arc again and again. You start asking yourself, is this scene worthy of the movie I want my life to be? And if the answer is no, you rewrite it because you're just not the character anymore. You're the director as well. You've taken that seat now. And directors don't settle for bad scripts, right? They just want their character to look like a hero, and that's what you are. So this week, try this. It's such a fun experiment to do. Next time that you're about to react or fall into an old pattern, make a decision based purely on emotion, just pause and ask yourself, if I was watching this character, this girl in a movie, what would I want her to do right now? And then do that. Direct the scene, romanticize life, make it better, make your nighttime routine better, like you're doing a nighttime wind down movie scene, because nobody else is going to do that for you. But the good news is that you don't need anyone else, right? You are the director now. You've had the pen the whole time. You just forgot that you were the writer of your story, right? Like the song Unwritten, please listen to it. Save this, come back to it when you feel yourself falling back into the pattern that you thought you left behind, and send this to a friend who keeps making the same decision and wondering why she gets the same result. She doesn't need new advice. She just needs a new perspective. And this might be the one that finally gives that to her. So do it with your friend. Romanticize your life and just look at life in a third person perspective. It's so much fun. Try it and let me know how you like it. I'll see you in the next one. Until then.